What does home look like for you? For me, it's west of the river. It's crossing the Chamberlain Bridge and someone in the car saying, "Now you're in God's country." That's how it started, as a young child crossing the big water at Chamberlain and my parents saying in the car, "We're in God's country." To most, that might just be a quiet stretch of prairie along I-90, but to me, it's home. A half hour west of that big water, a near perfect 2.5 hours between Sioux Falls and Rapid City, you will find Presho. Population around 500, and it's the place where my values were born. Presho's one of those little towns that you could easily pass by without noticing. No stoplights, just a few paved streets and miles of gravel roads that lead out to family farms. But it's those gravel roads where I spent all of my time growing up that built the foundation for who I am today. Both my parents are from Presho, and like so many who grew up there, they found their way back to make a life and build a family. I'm the oldest of 3, one younger brother and one younger sister, which is where I learned my bossiness, or leadership, early. My dad and uncle bought the elevator in the neighboring town of Vivian, population 100. It's also home to the nation's largest hailstone. My mom was a local beautician at Hair West, where every haircut came with a side of small town gossip. I went to Lyman High School, the only high school in my entire county, busing students in from 45 minutes in all directions, where your teachers were your bus drivers and they picked up the country kids along their way as they made their way into school. My graduating class had 32 kids, which was big for us. Our school had one math teacher, one English teacher, one science teacher, and one history teacher, and they taught us all 4 years of high school. At the time, I didn't think much of it, but looking back, I realized how special that was. We built real relationships with those teachers. They knew our families, our goals, our strengths, and probably what we were doing on the weekends too. They pushed us in every way we needed it, and they showed up to every concert, every game, every activity. It's no wonder that so many of my classmates went on to become teachers themselves. Most of the current Lyman staff are Lyman graduates, and that says something about the kind of community that Presho is, one that raises its people with the values it wants to see. Athletic events were everything in Presho. The gym was always packed, volleyball, basketball, the football field. Growing up in a small town also meant some friendly rivalries. Every surrounding county also had its own school: Jones County, Stanley County, Chamberlain. And every game against them was a packed house. And don't you even think about dating someone from a neighboring town. That's dangerous territory. Our parents lived through us, sharing their own back when stories about the Lyman legends who came before us. It wasn't just about sports, it was about being part of something that was bigger than yourself, a shared experience that connected generations. And then there were the friendships. The friendships I made in Presho lasted well into my adult life. While we may not have always been the best of friends, there's something about growing up in a small town that connects you deeply. When you're lucky enough to run into an old classmate in the big city of Sioux Falls, you don't just skedaddle, you give a hug and a heartfelt "how are you?" Because when you share the same gravel roads, that bond never fades. Small towns couldn't thrive without their small businesses. My first job was at Hutch's Cafe, right off the interstate in Presho. Farmers gathered there every morning before heading out to the fields, drinking their coffee and talking about crops, cattle, and weather. You could usually find a horse tied up outside next to a row of pickups. It was a great stop for travelers along the way to the Black Hills or for pheasant hunters in the fall. To this day, the milk fridge still holds the photos of famous faces who have come and gone. Working there taught me the value of hard work, the importance of kindness, and the art of conversation. It's where I learned to listen and treat every person with respect, because in a small town, everyone matters. And maybe the greatest lesson that I learned from growing up in God's country was gratitude. Gratitude for the teachers who believed in us, gratitude for neighbors who showed up when someone was in need, and gratitude for a community that may have been small but was mighty in unity. Presho may just be a dot on the map or a quick gas station stop to most, but it's the kind of place that leaves a big mark on your heart. And now the car rides look a little different because as we roll down the hill with my kids in the car, we point out the window and ask, "Look, where are we?" And inevitably somebody says, "God's country."